I have a setup waiting, but I am aware that this trend is down. We made a lower low. You can clone that, put that right there, right? And then we bounced and we made a, once we took this out, this was a higher high because it was higher than this point. But as you can see, now this is why we're doing this. Check this out. So here, let's clone this. Matter of fact, let's just move it right here, right? But you guys clone it and make sure you have your charts marked with it. Here we have a lower low, right? We made a higher low because we were, if you're trending down, you're never supposed to take this out. If you notice, this market pushed up, it pushed up some more, it made a lower high once again, but it never made a lower low. That's bringing your awareness up saying, hey, well, how come I didn't make a lower low? Because once you saw it stop here once again, and it pushed up, and it stopped here once again, and it pushed down, and it couldn't break this low, this low is possible a support. And if you guys have your support and resistance lines drawn on your chart like we went over in the other videos, then you'll possibly see that this right here was an area of support that is probably going to hold this market up. And now we made a higher low, came right back to that point. This area here, we've come right back to it. Not 1, 2, 3, 4 times. There's possible support here. So the market is probably holding that up. And look what happens. It bounces on it, bounces on it. All of a sudden, it takes out this higher high. And does what? It makes another higher high. And now we're starting to make higher highs, another higher high, right? Remember, we've got support here. Let me put a line right there, right? Because we made this low and we haven't been able to take it out. So what you'll be saying in your head is, hey, we found a support area. Let's see how that works. Here we've come back down. Look what the market bounced on it again. So it seems to have found a support there because we still haven't made a lower high. When you saw that, you marked that line, and look, if you just bought as soon as it hit that line once again because you saw that it was support, you made some pips just from your knowledge of the chart and your knowledge of how a trend works. It has not made a lower low than this one ever since it hit it. So that's how you define a very good support area. Let's go back to it again. Here it comes right back to that area again, and it bounced again, right? It keeps bouncing right here. There is good support right there. Look, once again, you could have bought it right there and made some money. And let's see, am I up to date? Okay, we can't go any further. Oh, yes, we can. Let's move, and look what happened. So many times it bounced off of that, and it still made a hard bounce. That's just from being aware of markets making higher highs, higher lows, and when you see it stops on the low and it keeps bouncing on it, you're like, hey, there's some support in this area. Support is like the floor in your house or in your apartment. You're not just gonna walk in your apartment and fall through the floor, right? So you know that support is gonna hold you up. And lo and behold, the market pushed all the way back up from that area, and we still have not broken it because the support held, and we continue to make higher highs and higher lows from that point ever since. Let's see if we can find it on the chart. Look how high we've come ever since we drew that line. We've made, so this is it in a nutshell. It bounced here several times. What it did was, remember we talked about consolidation before? It consolidated right on this support area and then took off. It made a higher high than any point that we've had. Higher high, higher low. Higher high, higher low. Higher high, we didn't make a higher low. So you can start spotting trend changes just by marking that on your charts. Now, all this, what I just said, guys, I just want you to look through your charts, start practicing it, make it a habit of marking that on your charts. Not on the 15-minute chart like I have it, like I just marked it. I want you to mark it on the bigger time frames like 1 hour or 2 hour charts or better. The 4-hour chart gives you a bigger picture of what the long-term trend is. and has you able to say, well, I'm going to take this trade, and how long should I hold it? Well, if I'm in the direction of the trend, I'm going to hold it for a longer period of time, because if I'm buying and I'm in the trend is up, I know that this market is going to probably make a higher high than the last high that was made. So it allows me to take a trade that probably got me in for a very low risk and make a very high reward on it, guys. All right. So that was just the anatomy of the trend. If you are a beginner, or even if you're a seasoned trader, because some seasoned traders forget about the trend factor. And I do not want you guys to ever forget about that trend factor, okay? Always want you to be in that direction, because that's the direction that's going to offer us the most bang for our buck. All right. Well, I kind of ran over on the time. I like to keep my videos. I like to keep these short and interesting. You guys, if you got to watch this video more than one time, go ahead and do so. But also, the most important part is for you to go ahead on your charts and put this into practice also. And look at that line we drew. Look at it. It was support, 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 support. And we drew that on a 15-minute chart. But when we came out to the 4-hour, we noticed, hey, look, that was a big line of support. If you guys did the exercise I gave you in a couple videos back, most likely you had this line here, and when it got there, you would have saw that and was like, hey, this is a support level, right? All right. So that's one of the things that we're going to do coming up. You're going to know that at support, you're going to try to buy at support and sell at resistance, right? So that's it for this video, guys. Once again, I want you to practice, 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 practice. And once again, thank you for allowing me to be your Forex mentor. One thing I can guarantee you is success if you follow the rules, follow the principles, and you're disciplined with your studies. All right.